Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of You Can Heal Your Own Life. I'm your host, Laura, and today I'm going to be talking about what this podcast will be about. So, for those of you who do know me, you know that my primary work has been in acting, in TV shows and movies, and occasionally voicing characters and narrating audiobooks, as well as being the host on the podcast The Diary of the Stars, which is on the astrology app MoonX, and it's been such an adventure for me. But what most of you don't know are my struggles, my triumphs, my battle of an eating disorder early on in my life, and the way that that has impacted my body and mind going forward. And that plays a role in this podcast, but what really it's going to be about is the power of the body and how amazing it is when we just step back and allow the body to essentially do its own healing work. So recently, I've gone through a very difficult struggle in battling and healing from mold toxicity that came from a condo in Atlanta, Georgia in 2023. It took me a year and a half to detox all of that out. And there are still details from that year and a half that I am still working on and I'm still dealing with as I push forward in my life. And I forge a much better relationship with my body and my mind. I was going to wait to do this podcast because I wanted it, essentially in my mind, I wanted to be through everything. I wanted to be the expert. I wanted to be the expert going forward and kind of look at this as like rear view mirror type situation, like, been through that, done with that, and now we're moving forward. But I realized as I was going along and as my healing journey has changed and it's gone up in some times and it's gone down in some times and it's just changed and twisted and turned and, I've had my highs, I've had my lows. I realized that there's probably never ever going to be a perfect time. And that time that I'm just waiting for everything to align and be right and all the stars are aligned and everything is perfect. Everything that I say out loud, it makes me laugh because that's just not reality. It really isn't. So rather than trying to be this person that's an expert and rather than trying to be the person that is holding off and waiting to post things because I feel like I'm just not an expert at this yet, I'm not going to be that person anymore. So here we go. Like everything in life, nothing gives you wisdom and growth quite like an experience and basically your own personal experience. I mean, you can read about things all day long and you can study and you can get a degree, but nothing compares to your own personal experience. And sometimes even that personal experience is actually more beneficial and more educational and more impactful than it would have been if you just learned about it in a book or you got a degree or you are a doctor. And I just realized as I've been talking about my struggle and sharing my story with some people. I mean, some people are just completely wowed I even made it through. Some people have been asking me, how do I heal from this? Some people have been looking to me as a guru for how to heal them. And the thing is that I can give you my personal experience. And I do believe that that will hold a lot of weight and a lot of importance and help people heal themselves going forward. But like I said, everybody is so different. Everybody is so different. And unfortunately, one of those things that needs to be developed if you want your own body to start healing itself is your intuition. And that's what I'm going to teach about in this podcast because I believe that is the most empowering and powerful and almost like magical sort of thing that a person can have because it's identical and unique to you. So let me just go through a little bit of what I went through. And if you've If you think this list is exhaustive, you're not alone. So many people said, no way, you couldn't go through all of that and then heal on the other side naturally. Haha, yes, I can. And so can you. Like I said, I'm not completely healed, but oh my God, I'm just dealing with just the little details on the end. And I've learned so much that I had to share this with people and help them. And rather than be a person that is a holistic doctor that would charge like hundreds an hour, I'm giving this to you for free because I feel like everybody should have this empowering information and it would make a better world going forward. So while healing from mold toxicity, if you don't know what that is, essentially mold is an organism and it can come from things that you eat. It can also come from things outside, but the most dangerous mold is black mold. That mold is found in older buildings, in damp areas, so it has to be damp and it has to live in that building for a very long time to thrive. So it also is the mold that is hidden. You will not know that it's there. Sometimes people can smell it. They say that sometimes they come in and it smells like flowers or like musty in the house. That's one indication. But in my experience, because all of my organs were affected in such a way, I couldn't even detect it. So this is what I went through. At first, I had an injury. I had an ankle injury. I was told to go home and rest and, ice and elevate, that the rice kind of method. And I did not heal. I got worse. Not only did I get worse in the ankle, in the foot, but everything else I'm about to list happened. So while healing from mold toxicity, I had chronic pain. I cried every day. I had immense pain that would not go away. I had consistent insomnia, which prevented me from healing because when we go to sleep, that's when the body heals. I had troubles with shutting my mind off, difficulty getting my mind off my own problems because there were so many. I had reoccurring injuries even after I went through PT. I had very, very slow healing. I'm talking like snail slow. I had overdoses of pharmaceutical drugs because the professionals in the field told me to keep taking them for pain, for anti-inflammatory purposes. But then on the flip side of that, I also had overdoses of natural supplements because on the other side, the holistic doctors, put me on a protocol and had me take a whole bunch of these different vitamins because when mold is in your body, you have, essentially all the organs are not functioning as they should. So you have to have a higher amount of supplements to get your body into almost like a kickstart mode. That's good in the beginning, but then I overdosed towards the end, and that doctor was not listening to how I was feeling. Again, goes with intuition, and we'll talk about that later. I had headaches, fatigue, brain fog, memory problems. I had intense anger issues, urinary issues, liver problems, digestion and constipation issues, lots of food intolerances, muscle tightness and reoccurring strains, random shocks that happened throughout my body. I had various autoimmune symptoms. I had unexplained itching, tingling and burning sensations, rashes, circulation problems. I had heart palpitations in the very beginning, breathing problems in the middle, ovarian cysts, hormone fluctuations, weight gain, weakness in my entire body to the point where I just couldn't heal. And then I ended up in a wheelchair for months, which also led me to depression and anxiety and panic attacks for the first time in my life. I was in and out of the hospital more times than anyone should ever be in the span of a few months, to which no doctors could point to anything wrong with me looking at my blood tests. And they just thought it's all in her mind. And they said, I just needed to calm down. I was just stressed. You're just a female and you're just stressed. And I knew that there was something deeper that no one was pointing to. I knew it wasn't just all in my mind. So this list might sound exhaustive and even made up. To the outside person, it probably looks that way because it's like, there's no way that one person could have all of those problems and yet nothing shows up on tests. And I'm here to tell you that that is exactly what happened. And it is very, very real because mold hides. It cannot be detected in an MRI. It cannot be detected in a blood test. It will look very similar and people will throw it off as an autoimmune disease, which is what happened to me. But I argued with that because I knew when they listed the specific autoimmune disease that had come up as a marker, I was like, that's never been in my family. I know that's wrong. Like, I know it. And it turned out that I actually was right. So I'm glad that I listened to my intuition. It only happened once I talked to a holistic doctor, which again, we'll talk about in another episode. But I'm just here to tell you, this is all very real. And if this is happening to you, you're not crazy. You are not crazy. The doctors might say that you are. Maybe your friends think you are. Maybe your family doesn't even believe you. My family didn't even believe me. But you're not crazy. Because I know I've been through it. And if I can heal from this in a year and a half naturally and get my body on the side of healing to where it starts healing itself, you can too. So from autoimmune diseases to chronic pain to organ malfunctions, you have injuries that won't heal. You've even got like mental health struggles. I can show you from my experience that the power of the human body to heal itself is entirely possible. And all we have to do is step out of the way and let this amazing being, this amazing vessel we were all born with, do the work. So, welcome to You Can Heal Your Own Life. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next podcast.